When we talk about acids and bases, we need to talk about pH. pH is a scale that tells the concentration of hydrogens in a solution. So the difference between acids and bases, well, an acid is anything that has a high concentration of hydrogens. So lots of hydrogens in it. So a base is something that has a low concentration of hydrogens in it. So whether something is acidic or basic has only to do with the number of hydrogens that are in it. So to know how acidic or basic something is, you have to basically quantify the number of hydrogens that are in it. And keep in mind that hydrogens are really tiny, okay? So they're so tiny that it's hard to quantify them, it's hard to count them, okay? So in order to count hydrogens, we quantify them using something called molarity. So you quantify hydrogens, or you describe the quantity of hydrogens in moles. Okay, so like we describe donuts in dozens. So if I say, give me a dozen donuts, I don't have to tell you that that's 12. You know that it's 12. A dozen is 12. Okay. If I were to say a mole of donuts, well, a mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd whatevers. Okay, so that would be 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd donuts. Okay, so basically that's 602 sextillion. That's like a phenomenal number. I mean, it's enormous. Okay, 23, got to move the decimal 23 times, okay, to get to 602 sextillion. So the concentration when we're looking at the concentration of, let's say, hydrogens, hydrogens are in a solution, right? So we look at the number of particles, which would be hydrogen, per volume of that solution, which in this case would be water. Okay. So the molarity of something is 1 mole, so of hydrogen, per 1 liter of the solution. So a mole of hydrogen per a liter of water. So if I give you these two numbers here, so if I give you the number 1 times 10 to the negative 1 mole of hydrogen per liter, and I give you the number 1 times 10 to the negative 14 moles per liter, that's a 1, moles of hydrogen per liter, which number is bigger? Well, hopefully, if you know, if you've got 1 here, so in this instance, you have a 1, and 1 times 10, so the decimal is right here, times 10 to the negative 1. So we're going to move the decimal to the left. So this equals to 0.1. Okay, and here we have a 1 here and a negative 14, so we're going to move the decimal 14 times in this direction. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So clearly, this number is bigger than this one. Okay, so we're talking about concentration of hydrogens. So the more hydrogens that there are, the more acidic it's going to be. The less hydrogens that there are, the less acidic it's going to be. So if we have the scale here. So if you write a scale down, so here and here, the top of our scale, okay, and you pick a side that's going to be basic and a side that's going to be acidic. In this particular picture, this side is basic and this side is acidic. So if we put our numbers on the sides that are acidic and basic, the acidic side is going to start at 1 times 10 to the negative 1. So 1 times 10 to the negative 1. And up here is going to be 1 times 10 to the negative 14 because it's going to be the least basic. So on this pH scale, the way it is numbered is going to be based on the exponents here, just to make things easy. If we look here in the center, this is 7, right? That's going to be 1 times 10 to the negative 7. Okay, so that means this is 1 and this is 14. So 14 is going to be the least acidic thing. A 1 is going to be the most acidic thing. Okay, so make sure you understand that because we can look at different, pHs, and then you will know how acidic, if it is acidic or if it is not acidic. We look at this picture right here. I don't know if it shows, I'm not sure what that is. Ah, here it is. Blood pH is about 7.4. So it's up in here. So it's a little bit basic. Okay, 7 is basically neutral, neither acidic or basic. So 7.4, blood's a little bit basic. Okay. Hydrochloric acid in your stomach is about a 2. Okay, so that is very, very, that's going to be very, very acidic. So be aware, understand this pH scale, realize or know that the more acidic something is, the lower the pH. The less acidic something is, the higher the pH. Okay, so that is very important for you to know and to be able to answer questions about that.